Hello, welcome to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica. This is my February TBR. I have string cheese and I'm about to make a lot of people really angry with it. Are you ready? These are the books that I am planning to read in February, along with some of the new releases of the month that I am interested in. Please know I tend to read some dark and twisted stories, and I don't share triggers because I think trigger warnings can be spoilery. But if you have any concerns about triggers, make sure to check these books on the app Storygraph before picking them up. First, carryovers from January. I have one carryover, Ruin by Gwynne. This is book 3 in the Faithful and the Fallen series. It's about a war between gods and is very similar to Game of Thrones. I've been reading this with my friend Amy on her Discord. Her YouTube channel is Amy Harbord and Pages. There's been a group of us reading this series and it's been really fun. Next, buddy reads and book club reads. The in-person book club that I've been going to here in my community is reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This is a classic. I love it. I've read it like 3 or 4 times. So looking forward to reading it again. But it's about a young woman. It's like a coming of age story and she becomes extremely mentally ill and it's her experience with that in the 1950s. I'm sure most of you know who Sylvia Plath is and or have read The Bell Jar. But I'm really looking forward to reading it and getting a chance to discuss it with a group of people. The Lovestead buddy read for the month of February is The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson. This is a middle grade fantasy. I love Sophie Anderson. She does Slavic fantasy so well, and this is a Slavic fantasy. It says, discovered in a bear cave as a baby, 12-year-old Yanka dreams of knowing who she really is. Although Yanka is happy at home with her loving foster mother, she feels out of place in the village where the other children mock her for her unusual size and strength. So when Yanka wakes up one morning to find her legs have become bear legs, she knows she has no choice but to leave her village. She has to find somewhere she truly belongs as she ventures into the snow forest with her pet weasel, Mousetrap, in search of the truth about her past. But deep in the forest, there are many dangers, and Yanka discovers that even the most fantastic stories she grew up hearing are true. And just as she draws close to discovering who she really is, something terrifying happens that could trap her in the forest forever. We've also been reading trilogies at the Lovestead. Our current trilogy is The Cowboys of California. We read book 1 in January. Here in February, we will be reading book 2, If the Boot Fits. It says, working as the personal assistant to one of Hollywood's cruelest divas has left Amanda Queen more determined than ever to sell her screenplay and gain her independence. In the meantime, she'll settle for a temporary escape. When her employer is felled by the flu on Hollywood's biggest night of the year, Amanda gets her glam on, struts out the door, and parties with the glitterati, but she never expects to come face to face and closer than close with one of the hottest stars in the game. And that would be Sam Pleasant, one of the brothers of the ranch. I love a Hollywood romance. The glitz, the glamour, the rich people. I'm here for it. The last buddy read I'm interested in doing is one that's being hosted by Roxie over at Roxie Reads. She does category romance. I've never read a category romance, so I want to give it a try. And the one that she selected for February is available on Kindle Unlimited. It is called Going Rogue in Red Rye County by Katie Mettner. It says, an undercover mission gone wrong, Agent Mina August is on the run from the FBI and the Madame, a ruthless brothel owner. Her mantra, trust no one. But alone and permanently disabled, the cunning beauty must trust her ex-partner Roman Jacobs to take her side in a deadly cat and mouse game. Can she fight her true feelings for Roman to stay professional and alive? Okay, that actually sounds really good. Next, let's do my library haul. First, I checked out Salem's Lot by Stephen King. This is next in my Reading Stephen King in Publication Order project. This one was published in 1975. It is chunkier than I expected, clocking in at just over 600 pages. So I guess this will be the next big book I read after I finish Ruin. It says, Ben Mears has returned to Jerusalem's lot in hopes that exploring the history of the Marston House, an old mansion, long the subject of rumor and speculation, will help him cast out his personal devils and provide inspiration for his new book. But when 2 young boys venture into the woods and only one returns alive, Mears begins to realize that something sinister is at work. In fact, his hometown is under siege from the forces of darkness, and only he, with a small group of allies, can hope to contain the evil that is growing within the borders of this small New England town. Alright, next I checked out The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I really loved Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And then the other one I read was her noir one. I don't remember the title. Velvet Was the Night. And that one I thought was okay. Mostly just because I don't love noir. But I think that she did a good job. Like, she told a good story. So I really like her as a writer. Bewitching says, back then when I was a young woman, there were still witches. That was how Nana Alba always began the stories she told her great-granddaughter Minerva. Stories that have stayed with Minerva all her life. Perhaps that's why Minerva has become a graduate student focused on the history of horror literature and is researching the life of Beatrice Tremblay, an obscure author of macabre tales. In the course of assembling her thesis, Minerva uncovers information that reveals that Tremblay's most famous novel, The Vanishing, was inspired by a true story. Decades earlier, during the Great Depression, Tremblay attended the same university where Minerva is now studying and became obsessed with her beautiful and otherworldly roommate, who then disappeared under mysterious circumstances. As Minerva descends ever deeper into Tremblay's manuscript, she begins to sense that the malign force that sought Tremblay and the missing girl might still walk the halls of the campus. These disturbing events also echo the stories Nana Alba told her about girlhood in 1900s Mexico, where she had a terrifying encounter with a witch. Minerva suspects that the same shadow that darkened the lives of her great-grandmother and Beatrice Tremblay is now threatening her own. In 1990s Massachusetts, an academic career can be a punishing pursuit, but it might turn outright deadly when witchcraft is involved. I have to read this. That's all from my library. For other things going on in my Discord, we're doing sprints on Saturday, February 7th, first Saturday of the month. We start at noon Central Time, which is Chicago time, basically go all day long. So if you want some company with whatever you're doing on Saturday, feel free to join us. We're also doing a watch along of the TV show Keeping Up Appearances, which was a 1990s British sitcom. It is social satire starring the wonderful Patricia Rutledge. In February, we'll be watching season 2. Next, let's take a look at new releases. There's 17 new releases I'm interested in. So what I'm going to do is just pick out the 5 that look most interesting to me, and I'll read you the descriptions of those. And the others, I'll just tell you the title, the author, and the genre, if I can see what the genre is. So let me start with just the ones with title, author, genre first that are coming up. The Bone Queen by Will Schindler, which is an adult horror thriller mystery. Where the Wildflowers Grow by Tara Shelton Harris. This looks like historical fiction or literary fiction. Good Intentions by Marissa Waltz. This is a thriller. In Her Defense by Philippa Malika. This is also a literary thriller. Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer. This is an adult horror. Dollface by Linda Ryan, adult horror. Weaving Shaw by Hiba Awasiti. This is an adult gothic fantasy. Cruelty Free by Caroline Glenn, adult thriller. Murder Bimbo by Rebekah Novak, horror, adult horror. Clutch by Emily Niemans, literary fiction. For Human Use by Sarah G. Pierce, adult science fiction horror. Nowhere Burning by Catriona Ward, adult horror. Now the 5 that I am most looking forward to. Amari and the Metalwork Menace. This is book 4 in the Amari and the Night Brothers series by B.B. Alston. This is middle grade fantasy. Now, I need to go back and reread this series. I read the first book and loved it and then never made it to the rest of the books. And I'm kicking myself for it because the 4th book is out now. But I plan to go back and reread the first book and then read up to book 4 this year because I loved book 1. I agree with the comp titles that Goodreads gives for this series. They compare it to Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and Nevermore. And I agree. This is about a magical school, kids with magic. It's wonderful. The Girls Before by Kate Ellis Marshall. This is an adult thriller horror. If you've been here for a while, you know Kate Ellis Marshall is one of my favorite writers. And the description of this says, there's a girl in the basement. The door has stopped opening. The light is gone. Stranger is trapped in the dark with only her imagination and the scribbles on the wall left by long dead girls to keep her company. Nearly out of food and water, she makes one last attempt to escape. But if the door opens at last, will it mean salvation or only the beginning of her fight to survive? That sounds wild. Good People by Patmeena Sabit. This is literary fiction. It says, the Sharaf family is the picture of success, successful, rich, happy. They came to this country as refugees with nothing more than the clothes on their backs, and now, after years of hard work, they live in the most exclusive neighborhood, their growing family attending the most prestigious schools. Zora, the eldest daughter, is the apple of her father's eye. When an unthinkable tragedy strikes, everyone is left reeling, and the family is thrust into the court of public opinion. There is talk that behind closed doors, the Sharaf's happy household was anything but. Did the Sharaf family achieve the American dream? Or was the image of the model immigrant family just a facade? That sounds pretty hard-hitting. Next, She Made Herself a Monster by Anna Kovatcheva. And this is gothic historical fantasy. It says, a heady, dark-hued gothic gem of a debut in 19th century Bulgaria, a self-proclaimed vampire slayer, actually a traveling con artist, joins forces with a teenage girl to create a monster deadly enough to vanquish their own demons. That sounds so fun. Last Swarsha by Charlene Hertubis. I slaughtered that last name. It says, in Michigan, Sarah's childhood was defined by fear and silence. As a teenager, she saw a chance to escape and took it. Now, in 1999, I'm loving all these books set in the 90s. Ugh. In 1999, she is an artist living on the rugged coast of Donegal, Ireland, where she is known as Swarsha, a name that sounds like the sea and means freedom in the language of her adopted country. And free is precisely how she is finally beginning to feel. Her partner and two beloved daughters are regular subjects of her paintings, and together they have made the safe home she always longed for. But Swarsha's secrets haunt her. No one must learn of the identity she has stolen in order to survive. They cannot know the dangers that she crossed an ocean to escape. This sounds really similar to the book that I'm currently reading, which is Mad Woman by Chelsea Beaker. Alright, that's it. Those are the books that are carrying over that I plan to read as buddy reads, book club reads, my library checkouts, new releases that I'm interested in, and activities going on at the Lovestead. What are your plans for February? Are you going to read any of these books with me? Let me know down below. What is something you're looking forward to in the month of February? I think the book that I am most looking forward to is The Bewitching. So for the emoji, go ahead and leave me the witch emoji. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!